Meanwhile, another dimension to this is the stranded Indian nationals, thousands in number, especially students still in Ukraine. Indian government is trying to ramp up efforts to bring them back. All Indian citizens in Ukraine have got an advisory that they should not move to any of the border posts without prior coordination with the embassy officials, with the government of India officials at the border post. So don't just go around the city unless there is an official coordination. There are emergency numbers of the Embassy of India in Kyiv that has been sent out for Indian nationals to pick up. Air India has already kick-started evacuation aircraft to countries that border Ukraine from today itself. The airlines are operating 4 flights to bring back evacuees, 2 flights sent to Bucharest, Romania from Delhi, 1 aircraft to Budapest in Hungary from Delhi, and a flight to Bucharest from Mumbai. Now, the first batch of evacuees from Ukraine have reached Romania via the Suceava border crossing. The Indian Air Force has put its fleet of C-17 and IL-76 transport aircraft on standby for evacuating citizens anytime if they will be asked to do so. Indian Air Force is geared up for any requirement of evacuation, as they have said, of our citizens in war-torn Ukraine now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be chairing a meeting with the Cabinet Committee on Security, and that will specifically focus on how to evacuate our nationals in Ukraine as Russian troops continue to launch aggression and assault.
The first batch of Indian medical students, all girls, arrived here in Bucharest. They are now getting ready as we speak to go and go through their security checks and go inside to catch the flight back home. I'll quickly get a word from them. Like them, there are a few other students who will be joining as well. Please tell me, how was your journey and how excited are you?
We're excited to go home, and it was hectic, but we can go home, so that's okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
So tell me, what was the journey like? How long did you take? Were you very worried before anyone contacted you? Did it take long for you to be contacted?
I didn't take us long to be contacted. Everyone was on their feet all the time. And I think we have been traveling for almost 12 hours now, more than 12 hours, but people have been there at every point, so it has been okay. We have been fine.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. What will happen to your studies going forward now?
Now we will be online, our university told us to be online. Our education will be online for 2-3 months,
2-3 months more. Okay, can I please ask you, someone here? Yes, you please tell me what was the situation like where you were, and how difficult and scary was it for you?
Actually, I'm really thankful to God that we were at the western part of Ukraine, where there were no such attacks or airstrikes happening. So we felt safe, but at a point we were really scared, and our parents were really worried for us. But our university, the MD house, and our Indian embassy was there for us and rescued us as soon as possible. So it was not that scary, and we were all safe, and still we are safe. And we hope all our students who are there in Ukraine, still 400 students, they be back soon and join us.
Lovina Tandon now joins me live from Bucharest in Romania. You know, these are stories of people who must have tried to wait for some official communication and finally find themselves to safety. Are they all students, Lovina, that you spoke to? Is Romania and specifically the Indian government preparing more facilities for Indian nationals to reach somehow in the country safely?
The ones that I spoke to were all students, and the ones that we are expecting now at the Bucharest airport, where I am just outside the airport, stepped out to see the next batch of students coming in. So they are all students, and they are all mostly from the same university, because it really is divided according to the logistics. So Western Ukraine is what the Bucharest is dealing with. the embassy and all the people who have been here. It's usually two-way traffic. Those who have contacted the embassy or the Ukraine officials, so these are the various points from where their names are coming, and then there is a huge process of getting them through officially. So there is an access-free entry visa, then border permissions, the Foreign Office is involved, the airlines are involved, and all of that has to happen, and they have not been charged as of now. No one has been charged for anything. So yes, there are all students. There are more flights from Budapest that will be planned in the next few days, but the one that is expected now, that will be going now, one more flight going into India in the afternoon. The students will be coming in now, and they are from the same university. Having said that, I have met some students who were really concerned about those who are in center and more towards Kyiv, and they are underground. And now that the borders are being sealed, Ukrainian authorities are being more stringent, it is getting more difficult to get them. But I am told by the officials that the embassy is working. But in Budapest, in Bucharest, more from western part of Ukraine.
Very interesting. Please, if you can stay on with me. Lavina is telling us what is happening in Romania. Now, remember, adjacent countries are opening up their border. So what is happening in Poland? From Romania, let me now take you to Poland, that's witnessing a huge influx of refugees amid this ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Already, Poland has opened up its reception centers along its 535-kilometer long border with Ukraine to manage as many thousands and lakhs of people, women and children who are pouring in. This is what the Poland-Ukraine border looks like. Abha Bakaya, our India Today correspondent, is on the ground. Take a look.
We're here at the Polish-Ukraine border in a place called Medjik. This is where we're seeing the primary number of refugees that are coming through across the border from the Ukraine side. It's taking them almost a day to come through the border. That's how jammed things are. You can see miles long cars, trucks, people walking across on foot. So while there have been other points, through which refugees have been trying to cross over, Belarus, Romania, etc., here we're seeing, thousands coming through on foot and saying that they've been completely displaced. A lot of angst against Putin. People walking through with families, kids, looking for a friendly face on the other side. And the Polish definitely are seeming far more receptive, to the Ukrainians that are coming through, and taking them, of course, welcoming them on the other side, trying to give them shelter, trying to give some kind of supplies, and they've created makeshift shelters at the moment to sort of for the refugees when they first sort of cross over until they find their feet. But this is it, incredibly shaken up. Everyone doesn't seem to know what has hit them and why this has happened. There's a lot of angst against this being all about one person, and that's Putin. From children to adults, that's really the message that's coming through as people walk across the border here in Western Ukraine.
Tell me, you come over from Ukraine?
Yes, we are from Ukraine with our children, because war began from Putin's, and it's worry.
Were you scared?
Yes, because Putin is unpredictable. He is evil in this world.
And did your home was your home also attacked where you were in that area?
Yeah, from Western Ukraine, from street, and it wasn't attacked when we were at home, but now I don't know.
Okay, all right. And you have someone to go to now across the border?
Of course.
Or yes? Okay, all right. Well, thank you for talking to us.
Bye.
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 We're here at Medjik, which is the Polish-Ukraine border. You can see scores and scores of cars bringing refugees through to Poland. The mood this morning on this Saturday morning here is relatively calm. We are speaking to some of the refugees walking through. As you can see there, we've got estimated, I think, 50,000, 100,000 displaced. Those are the latest numbers coming in. And Poland this time has also been friendlier to refugees, particularly because, of course, they relate to what's happening to Ukraine, the kind of the kind of action that Russia has taken, and there's a lot of empathy for the Ukrainian refugees and that anti-Russia sentiment that's building up here on ground. So definitely, a lot of people that we're seeing walking through towards Poland right now. We're also seeing lots of refugee camps around the area, whether it be an old monastery, whether it be other shelters. So lots of these camps are building. There are NGOs flying in from world over, bringing in scores of supplies as well to help some of these people that are displaced. I'm Abha Bakaya. We're going to continue to get you on-ground reports here from the Polish border.
So right, one by one, we are trying to get you information on what's happening in Ukraine and the neighboring countries that have opened its borders. Abha Bakaya was telling us about thousands of refugees that are pouring in. What you're looking at now is the Indian mission evacuation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said to hold a high-level meeting. While there has been, fortunately, one by one, batches of especially Indian students who were studying in Ukraine were stranded since the war started. They are now being evacuated by the Indian government. The government says that the charges will be borne by the government. They have one aircraft, like we told you, has reached Romania. Lovina Tandon, our colleague in that country, was speaking to them. There will be many more aircrafts that are flying, while the Indian Air Force says that we are on standby anytime our transport aircrafts are required for mission evacuation. We are prepared. Because I was talking to Lovina earlier, I want to go back to her in Romania, because we have not only just Ukraine now, Lovina, we have the neighboring nations also that have got involved in this, at least to manage the humanitarian crisis. At the airport, do you see a lot of refugees coming in? Do you see beyond Indian nationals as well? Lovina, if you can hear me, what does the airport in Romania look like for now?
The airport in Romania is full of other flights as well. There are a few other Ukrainian nationals as well. But can I just quickly take you to the next flight, the next set of buses that have just arrived? And I am here with two boys who are students. Tell me about your journey and what has it been like for you?
It's very difficult for us. It's very difficult for all Indian students that are staying in the border. We are just lucky 240 students that come in the flight. It's very lucky for us. And some students are waiting in the border. It's very difficult for them.
Are they just waiting at the border? Are they not registered? Have they just turned up?
They have a flight tomorrow. Yeah, day after tomorrow, because the border was closed. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of people in the border. That's all.
Okay, so there are people at the border who are being taken care of, or are they waiting to be heard?
They are waiting for embassy call. When embassy call them, they will be cross the border and they will reach for Romania for flights.
Okay, so have they just turned up at the border, or they are?
No, they stay in the border.
Okay, they are staying still. We are told there are more students in the border. Tell me, what has been the most difficult part of your journey?
It is lots of traffic, and crossing the border, we travel around 4 to 6 kilometers by walk and with luggage.
Because 4 to 6 meter long traffic, we are walking in the street and running from the roads. Very difficult for us.
Very difficult. Yes, of course. A lot of them have walked many kilometers. And can I just show you? These are the. Thank you so much. Please do go in for the check-in, and I wish you all the best. These are the big buses, as you can see. 3 more have just turned up. Look at the baggage. They're just a huge amount. This is what evacuation is looking like here in Romania. And when I take you inside, you'll see special arrangement has been made by the airport and the officials. They have really been very cooperative here in facilitating this. Please do remember, Ukraine officials, Romanian officials, every person or every kind of logistical support has had to work through this. And these people, numbers and numbers of baggages, I've seen this, kilometers, lines of these baggages, possibly dreams, some shattered, some relief, now being carried here because they are just one baggage and they have been living here for a while. They don't know what is really going to happen, but for sure they are going back and there is a sense of relief.
It's absolutely incredible. Remember, this must be a massive effort and exercise for the Indian government to ensure that students and nationals in Ukraine have to be via land route taken to a neighboring nation which has to open its borders, make facilities, and then from there Indian aircrafts will be taking them and bringing them back to India, at least one by one. Many of them returning home safely. Our continuous coverage after this break at 5 p.m. when Enroute takes over. Remember, since morning he's been getting you images and voices, and a very exclusive interview comes up as citizens, members of parliament takes up arm to prepare and protect themselves against Russian invasion. That and more after the break. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. You're watching India Today.